Welcome back to the Pro Series Podcast. This is episode 156, and today's guest is no stranger to the Pro Series. He's been on multiple times on his own, and then he's also been on with a collaboration with Rebecca Hayes in the beginning of the year with World of Design. But this time he's talking about a really cool tour that he's coming to the States with. He's an Australian designer. He's a TV show host. He has his own podcast called Talk Design, which I was on many years ago. We've been friends ever since, but he wanted to come back on and talk about a tour that he's going on and organizing in Austin, Texas. It's a architectural tour, home tour, which sounds awesome. So we talk about that and then how you could join in if you're in the Austin area or you want to take a little trip to Austin. It's a really cool organized trip. But before we get into this episode, please like, subscribe, and review the Pro Series Podcast on wherever you listen to podcasts. And now I hope you enjoy episode 156 with Adrian Ramsay. Adrian, thank you for coming back on. We haven't talked since the World of Design collaboration in the beginning of the year with Rebecca Hayes, and I'm
Wasn't that
glad to
fun?
catch up. It was so much fun. I got a lot of good feedback from that. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, I got good
Yeah.
feedback from it as well. I think we should plan another one.
We should, yeah. I mean, I think it was kind of cool, just three different countries talking about design, same design industry, around the same types of jobs, and it's kind of cool to just pick each
Yeah,
other's brains and talk about it. It was kind of a different type of episode too, because it wasn't really interview based, it was like conversational based.
that's true. And I think that makes a difference sometimes to the type of listener that it picks up, or what the listener picks up from it. They feel like they're in a conversation and they're finding the parallels between what we're talking about and what they're experiencing in their own businesses or in their own country. Yeah,
I agree.
we
Yeah,
should.
let's get into
I was going to
yeah,
say we
we
should
should.
do another one that where we do a bit of a teach as well, so
Oh,
people
okay.
can get a
I
bit of
like
a
that.
teach. That'd be fun. That'd be
Yeah,
fun.
we have to reach out to Rebecca and get on her schedule.
Yeah, absolutely. Her schedules. Yeah, that's the type one.
Yeah. Well, let's get into catching up because I mean we've been talking a couple times, and you know you're doing the
Yeah,
show, and then I want to get into this tour as well
yeah,
because you're
man,
coming to the States, and a lot of listeners maybe if they're in Austin, Texas, or close by, they might want to join you. Let's talk about this. I want to hear more about it.
for sure. Like you know, I've been doing tours for years, like but just small tours where it's 4 or 5 people, myself, and just pulled together, like me pulling it together. But I'm a designer. I'm not a tour operator. And
Yeah.
I went, look, I would love to, with my podcast, I'm sponsoring the AIA Austin
Mm.
and some of their events. And with that, I thought I'd love to do a tour with them and include the AIA Austin in it and do it in Austin, Texas, because it's a bit of a favorite of mine. With it, I've joined up with a company called Feast Experiences who do a lot of culinary tours around the world. And Sam, who's the owner of Feast Experiences, Sam and I were talking, and we were talking about, bringing the aspect of everybody lives in a house, everybody eats a meal, and why don't we bring those two things together and show off architecture and food in the same genre and same time? So pull them in as one thing. And I said, look, I'm doing this tour in Austin in October. And for those of you listening, the 25th to 29th of October this year. And with it, it's a small group, maximum 16 people. And I've kind of opened up my notebook or diary or address book of all the people that I know and picked out some highlights there and asked them if they would, entertain our guests essentially with their design knowledge. So we have some phenomenal things that are going to happen. But I'll give you a quick rundown and trying to make this, like, I don't want to give away everything because those who are
Yeah.
coming on the tour,
Save
there's going to
some.
be some clever surprises that we've got lined up for them. But to give you kind of an overall view, we get to Austin and we have a bit of a familiarization day and familiarization of what we're doing. And I used to be in the clothing trade for many years, and I'm sponsored by
Mm.
Stetson Hats. And so I went, why don't I take people on a boot shopping and hat shopping
Oh,
expedition?
that's cool. That's very
Yeah.
cool.
So we'll kick that off after lunch, and then in the late afternoon, we're going to go and visit a architect studio with the architects. Now, the studio itself, the building it's in, is an award-winning studio. Um, and then the next morning, we're meeting again with that architect, and then we're going to see probably the world's most innovative builder, certainly America's most innovative builder at this time. We're going to go and see some of their projects and hang out with them and get the rundown on what's going on. And then in the afternoon, we're doing something like crazy wild. I don't want to give too much away, but it involves the city of Austin, and it involves ending up on the 31st floor of a building in somebody's home overlooking Lake Austin. Now, he designed the building as well as he designed parts of the airport and a whole lot of other things in Austin. And he's going to host us, and we're going to end up in his place for some cocktails and stuff, and then we're going to go for dinner. A VIP function dinner we've got lined up. So that's just kind of like the first kind of kickoff of what we're doing, and then we've got over 10 houses that we will visit over the period of the tour, and I'm not going to give away the other ones, but we've got one of America's great interior designers, and she's going to take us on a bit of a journey as well. And then our last day, and the last day isn't all about design. Everywhere is about food, by the way, as well. Everywhere there's a food touch. What we do with food.
Everybody likes that.
Everybody loves good food. On the last day, we are actually taking time out. We're leaving town. We're moving out of town a bit. We're taking time out, and we've got somebody making us the most incredible lunch. And then we're going to have talks and discussions through the afternoon. And then we're going to have somebody making us the most incredible dinner, and all in the same venue. And I say venue, it'll be a home. And then we're going to wrap it up from there, but with a lot of like understanding and stuff, and what were the learnings, and also getting this connection thing going, from got builders, developers, architects, interior designers, and design lovers. Like we've got people who are going, we want to build a significant home, and this is a great investment for them before they actually head off on that journey, to be in, say 10, 12 incredible homes, getting to explore them with designers and architects and, interior designers, and understanding what makes a home so incredible, what makes the architecture work, what makes it feel the way it feels, so like, one of the things that we all do this, we look on Instagram and Pinterest and all these platforms, and when we're looking on them, we see things that strike an emotion. We go, oh, I really like that. We don't analyze it. What we're going to do is help people analyze that. But when you actually go into a space, as you know, you're a designer, you make it feel like something. And that's the genius of designers. It's like, it's textural, but it evokes an emotion. And that emotion brings something to people. It could be they don't like it. And so then analyzing what you don't like. And then it could be that they, just love it. And then analyzing what it is that makes that happen. And if they're going to embark on, having a new home designed and building a new home, this is where it's invaluable, because you get to see that thing that you would have never understood before. The designer will understand it, but whether they can communicate it or get you to communicate it's the key. So we want to teach people a bit about that as well as we go.
Yeah, it sounds like a cool, it's a work trip, but also a kind of like a nice relaxing kind of feel your creative. People get burnt out so easily in this industry. So it's nice to be able to, fulfill that creative juice that they've maybe ran out of this time of year and just join the trip. Are there people, are they mostly Austin-based designers and architects coming, or is it going to be kind of people from all around?
For people from all around that are coming from,
Very cool.
all over. And, really, it's get yourself to Austin, and then we take care of everything from there. And
Mm,
so with it's 5 days in Austin. It starts on the Thursday and then it finishes on the Tuesday. But really
oh, that's
Friday's
cool.
our biggest day. But yeah, Friday, and then the last day is a really relaxing day, as you say. So we want to always make time for people to take a breath, breathe out, take in the knowledge they've learned, and then have time to question that and discuss it and understand it and build their network of people that understand design and that have got interest in design and food. I mean, next level food is a huge part about what we're going to do here. Is how do we just keep elevating those experiences and let people understand, how food is essentially designed as well, like how it's put together and why it's put together in a certain way. We're not going to teach them that, but we're going to show them that. We're going to get them to experience that, flavor layering and all these things, which isn't too different from what you're doing in a home.
Yeah, that's a really cool concept. And so, what made you think of doing a trip like this?
Oh, look, I suppose that's a really good question. Um, it's a bit like having a podcast. You could just talk to all those amazing people yourself. You could just reach out. 99% of them would have a chat to you and it would fill your tank.
Yeah.
And you would get this, be like you going for a banquet of one. You could do that. But when you do it and you go, let's just put it on the air, let's put a podcast on the air. It gives everybody the opportunity to take their own learnings. You'd go to a smorgasbord, and in a smorgasbord, you go, oh, I don't like beans, but I do like corn. I don't know, whatever it is. I like this, I don't like that. And you get to
Hmm.
choose. When we read a book, we get to read the book and we take the pieces that mean the most to us over the narrative of the whole story. When we go into a home, we get to see the whole home and we can take little pieces or we can take the whole story. When we start with a meal, the same thing. Like one of the guys who's coming is a vegetarian, and I had somebody say to me, oh, look, I'm a vegetarian. I don't know that it would be for me. And I'm like, oh, yeah, it'll be for you. They're not cooking for us all as just a big group. They're cooking for us almost as individuals within that group. So
Yeah.
it's finding out those pieces that matter that way, and then making sure that everybody is catered for. So my thing is how do you take these experiences that I get to do regardless, just like you do? You get to go in amazing homes, you get to design amazing things, you get to use beautiful products, and then you get to, if you go out to eat, you get to choose what you eat, you get to experience different things. How do we bring those two things together with people who love those things
Mm.
and then lift that experience? And bringing the others in really just means that what we're doing is we're sharing. And
Yeah.
that's another gift that we both love.
That's a yeah. I mean, the main thing that people want in life is connection. And I mean, that's a lot of networking. That's just connection.
Yeah.
Like finding what you connect with them on, it's a business level or relationship level. It's just being able to connect on a different level now with this trip. I bet you a lot of people that are going on this trip probably don't know each other and they
No,
probably will become friends or have some connection and might help them out in business or personally. And it's a beautiful thing. That's what people want. That's why people follow each other on social media because they have some type of connection or they spark something in them that want to follow them.
100%. And look, recognizing that is so valuable. And beyond everything else, it's like, you can't feel a house from a photograph. You can feel a house from being in it. You can't, you know the difference when you actually finally meet a person, like say with us, we interview people all around the world.
Hmm.
And when we meet that person really, that we've already got the connection, but we go, oh, wow, everything drops into place. Everything comes together. And so, yeah, the connections are incredible, really
Yeah.
incredible. And I found that from the ones I've already done. But this is like, Adrian, stop mucking around. This is like, drawing. I used to draw a shed and now we're drawing, a palace. That's the difference.
Yeah. I mean, we would have never connected if it wasn't for us
Podcast.
reaching out to do a podcast.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
very, very cool thing. So this whole tour, does someone, when they sign up, are they're buying a ticket? So basically they just have to buy the ticket to go out to Austin,
Yep.
and the ticket that they're purchasing through you takes care of everything else. They get
Yeah.
the agenda, everything else.
Yeah.
That's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. Where agenda, food, everything all happens from us. They just get to Austin and we have the hotel for them. They jump into the hotel, away they go from there. Everything else, we've got some free time in there, obviously, for them as well.
Yeah.
And you know, the other thing is that's really cool that's on in Austin. If somebody was doing an extended trip, say from, England or from, somewhere where they wanted to make an extended trip, if they were to base themselves in Austin for about 2 and a bit weeks, and I know that's a long time for a lot of Americans because that's pretty much all your holidays gone, but people in the
Yeah.
Antipodes and people in, the UK and stuff often have 4 weeks holiday a year. I
Wow.
know.
That's
move,
amazing.
move down here, bro.
Ah,
um, so with that, Austin has two other major events that are going to be happening, not while we're doing our event, but in weekends before. So it is the last weekend of the ACL festival that you could get. So this is a big rock festival held in Zinkler Park. Absolutely wonderful. I've been many times. And then you kind of get a week's break in between. So that's a 3-day festival if you're really into your music, and it's iconic. And then another weekend that's there is the Formula One. Now, Austin has the only Formula One, purpose-built Formula One track in America. And
hmm.
so everywhere else is a track that's used for other things. But Formula One track in Austin, Texas is the only one that was purpose-built for Formula One. So the Formula One's on as well. And that's another 3-day event, like you go Friday and you can go and see practice. Saturday's qualifying, and then Sunday is race day. And on each of, I think Friday, well, at least on Saturday, I want to say, I might have this wrong, so some of you need to check with them. Well, you don't. People check your facts, my facts. They have big concerts there as well. So when their Formula One's going to be on, there'll be a concert as well. And to give you some examples, like from I've seen Bruno Mars there, I've seen Justin Timberlake, I've seen Stevie Wonder, and the list goes on. So these are big major concerts that happen out at the Formula One track after the racing. So they turn the thing into a massive event. So those things, those sort of trifectas of things, if they've got time. When I've done it previously, I've gone and done those things, and then I go away for part of the week in between. So I'll go and explore some more of Texas, or I'll just take a flight to somewhere reasonably close by and go and see something. So, if you wanted to go down to Marfa, Texas or something like that and see the art, easy to go down there for a few days and then come back. Or if you wanted to go to Houston and see Houston, really easy to be in Houston, easy to be in Dallas. These things aren't so far away. And then you've got the whole hill country, and there's tons to explore around the whole region. It's and if you want to get out of Texas, it's really easy. There's states all around it, so it's not hard to get out of Texas either.
Yeah. I say the next one you to do, because I know there's probably going to be a next one.
Oh
You need
yeah.
to do one here in Pittsburgh or go to Arizona.
Well, I'm very keen on both of those and got something planned, certainly around the Arizona area. And I did one there a couple of years ago where we did a bunch of places, but we did it by private plane. So there was just a
Oh,
small group, and we, just did it by private plane and dropped
that's
into all
cool.
these different places. That was very cool, very select, very small, but that's another whole wild experience.
Yeah.
And then the other one is I want to do the Falling Water one with you, man. That's one that we've been talking about for a number of years now, and we've got
Oh
a
yeah.
whole Frank Lloyd Wright kind of experience piece, and then a Pittsburgh experience, which takes in Andy Warhol as well. So
Yep.
there's some super cool stuff there. So we need to get that on the agenda as well.
Yeah, we definitely do. Because I
Yeah.
have a feeling a lot of people in Pittsburgh would love that too. Just
I
something
think so,
different.
yeah. Something different, yeah.
Yeah. We're all used to the same exact things all the
Hmm.
time for especially in the design community. I want to finish on your show. How's that going?
Yeah, really well. Actually, I'm shooting today, believe it or not. And I was like, oh, I can squeeze this in this morning.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, really good. Look, I'm shooting about 3 to 4 days every month, and in that we
Okay.
shoot a couple of places. So the show's Dream Homes Revealed, and I'm the Queensland host for that. It's a national network television show. Does get sold off overseas as well, and I'm really lucky to do it. Like, and do you
That's
know
awesome.
one of the biggest highlights of it is the houses that we go to are so diverse, and every one of them is well designed, every one of them is well finished, every one of them, it sets a bar.
Hmm.
And as a designer, like, I'm getting to go in and see other people's fabulous work, but I'm getting to often talk to the designers and build my community as well, and really understand how they got to their nuances of what they're doing and how they're doing it. So it's a bit
Hmm.
like the podcast. I'm learning from them and sharing with them, and then expanding my community between designers and builders and architects, and just this whole piece is fascinating again, like really fascinating. We're
Yeah.
on the tallest residential house in Australia. So it's the top of an apartment building, and it's 4 floors. Now, the guy who's got it is a guy called Simon Beard, and he started a company called Culture Kings. And
Mm.
Culture Kings is like a basketball streetwear brand.
Okay.
And Simon sold out a big chunk of that a little while ago. But this apartment is $30 million worth. That's Australian dollars. So that's probably about 20 something US. And on 4 floors, it's about 1,000 square meters of just incredible luxury, and sitting right on the edge of the coast. And the kicker is it has balconies. So you can actually go outside on the 71st floor to the 74th floor. I think he's 70, I think he's 71, 70, 71 to 74. The top floor is a pool, a spa, a sauna, and an outdoor gym, and like a barbecue area and all that kind of thing,
Yeah.
up on the 71st
Dang.
floor, 74th floor. Incredible stuff like that, as well as like absolutely beautiful homes that might be tucked in the bush or on a canal or
That's cool.
whatever they are. So very
So you're
lucky.
basically touring it and then hearing the story behind it. Is that how the premise of the show is?
Yeah, I would go and say, for instance, I'd go and meet you there, because
Okay.
you would be I suppose doing an expose on the place. So you would be showing off your
Mm.
work, and you've got to be selected to have your work in the show. And then I come in and I'm like, hey, Eric. And then we get into the conversation about all the different parts of the home, and why you may have chosen certain things, why you did certain things.
Mm.
So you get to share your knowledge and build that out, and everybody else gets to learn from your journey as well when they're watching the show. Show,
That's
obviously,
cool.
we spend hours. The show gets chopped into minutes, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's
Wow,
really
that's
great.
cool.
Yeah.
When's it coming out?
My episode's starting, I think, about end of October, and I've been shooting for almost a year by then. That will be season 3, and I'm started season 4. Goodness, I think last month I started season 4, and like I'm
Wow.
shooting
So you're on every
6
episode?
places. Yes, I'm on every episode, but each state in Australia has a different host. So, in Victoria, we've got
Oh,
Rachel. In New South Wales, we've got Marianne. In South Australia, we've got Marie. I happen to be the only guy on the show, which is kind of cool.
yeah.
Um, And and the other hosts are really fabulous. We've already been hanging out and doing stuff
That's so
together, which
cool.
is cool. Really cool.
That is so cool. It was so will it be available in the States?
I honestly don't know. It depends whether a network in America picks it up.
Okay.
That seems to be the thing. It's not a cut and dry that the American network will pick it up. Although the production company is an Emmy award winning company, and they've
Hmm.
sold other ones there, and they do make a show, something like Country House Hunters Canada, and I think they do one for America like that, and one like that for New Zealand as well.
Okay.
Yeah. I said to them I
Very
want to be
interesting.
on that, and they said, "Yeah, but you're married with kids, so you might want to be on it once, but you won't want to be on it all the time when we're sending you off overseas constantly."
That would be
Yeah,
actually really fun.
it
That'd be
would
a
be.
fun
It'd
job.
be a fun job if you were single. And I
Yeah.
know that the host from New Zealand, who does the New Zealand Country House Hunters, and he's like, he's got a partner, but he's like, no kids and just can go and do what he wants to do. Well, when I
Yeah.
say go and do it doesn't have a massive effect over his family or anything. And
Absolutely.
he's been
Well,
in media his whole life. Yeah,
if they do it over here in the States, put my name in for it.
absolutely. Eh? Well, I've
That'd be so
actually,
fun.
I'll introduce you to some people that are doing some stuff because that would be good. And you know a lot of people in that space as well.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
we've shared some great connections over that part.
yeah, we have. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Well, I want
Cool,
to
man.
end with where people could sign up for your tour and where
Yep.
people could find you on social media.
Cool. Social media, if they just look for Adrian Ramsay, and it's Ramsay, you'll find me on Instagram and probably most other places. Um, you'll also find the podcast, which might be easier to find, which is Talk Design Podcast on Instagram. And it's the same on YouTube. It's Talk Design on YouTube. That's another way to connect with me. And then obviously LinkedIn, all those other platforms we're there as well. To find the tour, if you go to feastexperiences.us, and Feast Experiences with the S on the experiences.us, that will take you to the tour page for Austin, Texas. And we're yet to fill that page or the website with the other tours that we've got coming, but we have other tours coming for next year. And most tours, we've got a guest host as well that we bring in for different parts of it. So we've got some fun surprises with that,
Okay.
that people will see. And yeah, we'll be doing some other ones around the world, but certainly in the US next year as well. So if
Well,
you go on the website, click through as if you're going to go on the tour. Click through, and then you'll see everything that's available. You can fill out the thing. And if you can't make the Austin tour, that's cool. Just put in there, in the notes, just put can't make Austin tour. Please keep me in touch with other tours, and we will put you in the mailing list. The other thing is Eric, if anybody contacts you directly with this, I can offer them a promo code based on you having shared this. So that's
okay.
another great bonus for people.
Very cool. Yeah, I'll definitely put that in the caption when we release this episode. That'd be a cool little
Yeah.
incentive to it. And I'll be living by through your
Okay.
post
Yeah.
through for that whole entire week. So I'm excited to see it all.
Awesome, man. I'm looking forward to doing one with you as well.
Absolutely. Well, Adrian, thank you so much for coming back on to Pro Series.
Hey, mate, Pro Series is awesome. I love it. It's a regular listen for me. And I think you do so well and you get some fascinating guests. And thanks for all your support.
Oh, thank you, and same to you. Thank you for your support and your podcast is just keeping me going as well.
Cheers, buddy. Take care.
Awesome.